All right, it is finally Friday. We made it through another hot, sweaty, moist week in southern Louisiana. If you don't know what it's like to live in southern Louisiana during the summer, do yourself a favor. Go jump in a hot shower. Get out that hot shower. Don't dry off. And put on your clothes. And that's what it feels like as soon as you walk out the door into this heat in southern Louisiana. So let's get to it. I've been doing some good reminiscing on being in the ring with some legends. Y'all know I said it in stories before that Bullet Bob and Scott Armstrong were two of the first legends I was in the ring with when I first started. And legends indeed. Legends of the Gulf Coast. Very, very, very Armstrong family. Very down to earth. Always positive things to say. Bullet, actually early in my career, very early, Bullet used to write articles for, like wrestling articles on the local indie scene in the Pensacola paper. And he did one on me, even though I was bad, but he still did one on me, and he really kind words he said. So that's why later on, I've already gone over this. That's why later on I had to prove to them that I turned myself around somewhat. But they live in the Pensacola, Florida Panhandle area, and they're from that area. They're phenomenal in that area. They're very well known. I was able to get in a ring with Bullet and Scott. I had a match with Road Dogg Jesse James, who was Brian Armstrong. I got to be on a show with Brad Armstrong before he passed away, who, look, this family is professional wrestling. They are some of the best wrestlers in history. So they know what they're doing. They know what they're watching. Crestview, Florida was a staple during my career. Friend of mine, Heath, who goes as Mr. Fantasy, ran shows there every year, and he booked me on a few of them. The first one I was on, of his shows I was on, I wrestled John Saxon, and we had a hell of a match. I mean, a hell of a match. And John Saxon's, like I said before, has always brought the best out of me. So we had a really good match, and as soon as we got in the back, Brad grabbed both of us and just told us how phenomenal we did, how good we did. And it was really cool to hear words come out of Brad Armstrong's mouth that we did a good job and how well I did. And he praised me up and down. It was awesome. I had a few more matches with them. I had a match against Dan Delicious. And if y'all know who Dan Delicious is, you know what kind of match it was. But during that match, he forgot how to take a bump, a regular back bump, off of a clothesline. It slipped his old mind. And no. Okay. It's either he forgot how to bump, or I might have hit him a little bit too hard, which he's going to say I hit him too hard, and I'm going to say he's retarded. Anyway, I hit him with a clothesline, and he landed on his shoulder wrong and hurt his shoulder. His actually had to go to the hospital. But who was the first one at the hospital to see him? Me. And I think that's why we're the best friends today. Because and so we still go back and forth today about we go back and forth today about many of things that we've been in a ring with each other that happened. But that's just part of the business. It's part of the business. And that man means so much to me to this day. It's unreal. But yeah, then the next time we got to tag together in a 6-man tag. That right there is probably one of my favorite matches I've ever had, because to wrestle Dan Delicious is one thing. To be his tag partner is completely different. Like I said, if you know his character and you know him, you know what I'm talking about. But the shows that the reason why I bring this up is because this weekend, tomorrow, there's going to be another WrestleMania of the Gulf Coast. that Mr. Fantasy's putting on in Crestview, Florida at the Crestview Community Center. And it's going to be in honor of Bullet Bob Armstrong. And Scott Armstrong is going to be a special guest there, his son. And man, I wish I could make this show. Finances right now have me where I can't do much traveling. But it's getting better. Like I said, I wish I could go to this show because I'd really love to talk to Scott Armstrong. And but Dan's going to be on it. I should be able to watch his match live if his wife goes live with it, which I'm hoping she does. One of the better stories out of Crestview, Florida is I always got a hotel room every time I went there because it's a 5 to 5.5 hour drive. So after the show, we'd go to the Applebee's or the Hooters and eat and drink, all of us, and have a phenomenal time. Well, Heath decided to put me up in a hotel this time. If you look it up on the internet, haunted hotel in Crestview, Florida, and a story will come up. He booked everybody in that hotel, the most haunted hotel in Crestview, Florida. Well, he booked me in the room that whatever happened in that room. So that room is the most haunted room in like the world's history. So me, I don't believe in any of that stuff. So it was no sweat off my back. I'm like, I don't care. But we go to Applebee's, we drink a few beers, we eat. Everybody wants to go back to the hotel and come to my room to see if anything's going to happen. So we get back, we all tanked, and we are cutting up, crying, laughing, waiting for something, the ghost to appear. I don't know what they were doing, but they were waiting in my room for it. We had a blast, but until about 3 o'clock in the morning when the little neighbor in the room next door came to my room. It was like, y'all need to shut up because I need to get up early. So I was like, look, y'all, everybody go back to the room. Ain't nothing going to happen. I keep telling y'all, shit's fake. It's nothing going to happen. So we dispersed finally at about 3:30. I had to get up at like 6 or 7 to make it back to New Orleans. And needless to say, I didn't sleep a wink. Because my wife that I had with me decided that she's too scared to sleep because every little noise she heard thought was a ghost. And she thought somebody sat on the edge of the bed and she could see things. So needless to say, I didn't sleep a wink. So Heath ribbed me by putting me in this room, which was no sweat off my back, but it actually was because Junior was scared to death. But I always loved doing his shows. I always loved going to his shows because it's a bunch of guys that I've been in the business with for years and love talking to because we barely ever get to see each other. And we get to talk to each other and have a good time and go get a bite to eat afterwards and drink and have a good time. Like I said, I wish I could make this show. But that show is happening this weekend. So if you're anywhere in the Crestview, Pensacola area, please make that show because it's usually really good, really packed, and it's a good show. Another show that's happening this weekend is Pro Wrestling 225. Look them up. It is the main part about this show is Wild Thing. Wild Thing, you better handle your business. You better do what you got to do because Pro Wrestling 225 is going downhill since this Michael White character has taken over. I whipped his ass before. I know you can. So if there's any independent shows around y'all this weekend, go to them. I'm sure I missed a few, but that was my Crestview story with Bullet Bob, Scott, and Brad, and Brian Armstrong. Brian Armstrong, I wouldn't doubt he may make an appearance tomorrow night. I wouldn't doubt it if he would be like a surprise there. So we're about 10 minutes in. Share, like, comment, get it out there. Telling stories, y'all. Peace.